In this video, I'm going to start talking about IP addresses. So I'll talk about what an IP address is, uh, where it can be obtained from, or who issues out IP addresses. Then I'll also talk about different classes of IP addresses. I'll talk about the usage of IP addresses. So to start with, an IP address, okay, IP address. So in the IP address, the I stands for internet, okay, and then the P stands for what? Stands for protocol. So this is internet protocol address. So just like you have a residential address of a certain location, a certain office, or a certain individual. So an IP address is equally an address that is used to find the location of a computer in a network. That's what an IP address is. So, but in definition, what really is an IP address? Okay. How do we define an IP address? So an IP address is simply a unique number that is used to identify and locate a device or a network. Okay. So say unique number to start with is unique, meaning it's different from all other IP addresses. Unique number, number. So it's a unique number that is assigned, okay, to a device. Unique number assigned to a device used to identify, identify and locate a device on a network. Okay, so it's a unique number assigned to a device used to identify and locate a device or sometimes a network or a subnetwork on a network. So meaning that every node in a network has to be given an IP address. So the concept of IP addresses is firstly introduced in the internet protocol, networking model. Okay, so the one that is built before the TCP. So the TCP IP suite is where the first concept of IP addresses was introduced, to say that any node that is going to be on the network, we need to use it to do what? We need to assign it a certain number so that we're able to identify it on the network and also to locate it on which sub network it belongs or where it is exactly on the network. Okay, so the idea of IP addresses originated from TCP, okay, IP suite network model. Originated from TCP IP suite network model. That's where the issue of IP addresses originated from. Then other than that, you need to understand that IP addresses are also issued out. So there's an organization known as IANA, okay, or Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. It's the one that issues out IP addresses to ISPNs. Okay, so Internet assigns numbers authority. Okay, so the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority issues IP addresses to what? To ISPNs or Internet Service Providers. Mm. Issues IPs to Internet Service Providers. Okay, so first thing you should realize about IP addresses, they're not just generated by a machine. Okay, talking about public IP addresses that help you access the internet, they have to be issued by a company called Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. It issues out IP addresses to what? Internet service providers. So what are internet service providers? We're talking about telecom companies like MTN, Airtel, Zamtel, Z Mobile. So when a company like that one is set up to provide internet services, it has to buy a core router. So that core router is assigned an IP address by what? By the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. So when in the MTN or Airtel buys a router, from that router they can generate any number of IP addresses. Okay, they can generate another set of IP addresses which can be used to set up private networks and also public networks. So that is how it works. What will happen is that, let's say an ISP like MTN, okay, MTN is here, right? So MTN is going to buy a router, a core router. Okay, MTN will buy a router. MTN has a router. This router is provided by, they buy from any company, but anyway, the IP address is assigned by Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, right? Assigns an IP address to this router. From this router, and from an IP address of this router that are going to have, let's say the base IP address is 192.167.1. Maybe let's say 88 or so. So if they have an IP address like this one, right? From this IP address, they can generate over 3 billion other IP addresses. Okay, and each of those IP addresses that are generated, each of those IP addresses are generated, they're able to use each of those IP addresses to set up a private network. So if, let's say, an ISP buys, let's say, one router like this one, they're able to generate, let's say, maybe 5 billion or 3 million other IP addresses that they can be used to set up what? To set up private networks. So if you buy one router from MTN, it is going to be connected through the core router. So what happens is that here we have the core router. The core router, the main router that MTN has as a telecom company. Then what happens that from this router, the IP address of this router, they generate multiple other network systems. So where this is now where schools can buy other routers, okay? Homes can buy another router, other companies buy other routers. So all the IP addresses that are assigned to these other sub routers that are bought, that are derived from the core router, the IP address is actually derived from the what? From the core router that MTN buys, and then the IP address of this, the public IP address of this router is given by what? By the Internet Authority's assigned number assigned numbers authority. Okay, so that is what actually happens. So this is what you need to understand about IP addresses in the first place.